la mer.
Today, the borders are open. I mean, people travel all the time, and a lot of people enjoy traveling to France, eating the wonderful food that we have. Languages are very important to help maybe slow down the loss of memory as we get older. Probably one of my favorite groups, students who come and who often are failing, who are struggling with the language, who often want to give up because they think it's hard. Here I am, you know, trying to save them and repeat to them that it's totally doable. I've done it with English, so of course they can do it. Seeing them from a D or F or C minus to a B plus to an A to an A plus, and it's very, very rewarding.
I found in travel that when you meet people, many people speak a different language, and sometimes that language is French, or people have French as a second language or as a third language. So if they don't speak English, then French is another way to communicate.
My company was purchased by a French company, and I had engineers who were French, and I wanted to pronounce their names properly. And so I continued studying French, and I've been able to have conversations in French with my colleagues, send emails in French with colleagues.
Over spring break, I went to St. Martin in the Caribbean, and it's half French, and I understood what people were saying perfectly.
When it came time for my son to take a language, I expected him, you know, to be the usual take Spanish, but he wanted to take French, like Mom.
Everybody's different, and that's the beauty of, I would say, the classes one-on-one, is that I will really adapt to the person.
I had taken one French class at one of those like franchise places, and it was really confusing for me. They put me in a rather advanced class and I had no clue what was going on. I take French in school as well. I see the other kids in my class struggling a lot. Basically, they're learning how to write French instead of speak it.
The high school students need the one-on-one in order to really develop that self-confidence. If you make a mistake, I will laugh with you. And I do, and I want my classes to be fun. You know, in the pronunciation they make mistake, and I think it's very funny, and they're like, oh, what did I say? What did it mean? And high schoolers or any sort of students will not do that in class. There are too many people around them that they do not want to make a mistake. I would say same for a lot of adults. It takes some courage, especially when you're 40, 50, to start learning a language and venture yourself out there.
She is French, so speaking and working with someone with the native French language, I think, is a real benefit.
What's really cool about learning French with Anne is that I'm learning how to write it and how to spell, and I'm also learning how to speak and how to understand.
Anne makes it special because she makes it fun. She makes it fun for the kids with the games that I mentioned, but even with adults, you're talking about things that are life skills. You're not just studying a text.
We have our lessons that we work on, but somehow or other we end up talking about our families, we talk about travel, we talk about, you know, what's going on in my life and in her life, and it really makes it for a very authentic language experience. And she does this with me all in French.
So she really prepares the kids. She gives them the reasons why it's not just grammar. When they're little, there's a lot of games that she plays with them.
With the younger ones, I use a lot of visuals. I teach by theme. In those themes I include, it could be a bingo that I made, so I know exactly which vocabulary, and it keeps on growing.
In the 7 or 8 months that I've worked with her, my language has improved tremendously.
I understand French perfectly well. I speak French pretty well, so I think from knowing nothing to being nearly fluent, I've improved a lot.
And because of Anne, he was able to take a test and actually pass out of French 3 and went directly to French 4. He's the only sophomore in French 4.
à des reflets d'argent, la mer, des reflets changeants sous la pluie. La mer, au ciel d'été, confond ses blancs moutons.
Whether you need a French tutor, want to improve your skills, or want to learn French, please contact me.
Bergère d'azur.